Hey guys, it's Tara at Steelstown Creek Farm. We are a new regenerative farm and very close to downtown Newton, North Carolina. And we got a couple new residents on the farm, so I wanted to show them off. We have already gotten started on our 2023 pig season. So here's our new residents. Here's our two new girls, or gilts, because they are young girls. And they are Duroc Berkshire mix. So I'm really excited about this cross. I came out here to do some fence work. I'm going to get the electric wire hot in here again and start getting them trained on electric wire. So this is our piglet training area. This is where they come first. It's where they're quarantined before they're introduced to other animals. I'm deworm these girls, and they'll be in here for a few days getting trained on electric wire, and then they will go out to the woods where our pigs are raised in the woods until they go to the processor. So they have fun being piggy, expressing all their pigginess out in the woods. You see they are playing with the wire, which they should not be playing with at this time, so that's why it's time to get that hooked back up. Here's our other two feeder pigs we have on the farm right now. So this is how we raise them in the woods. They are working on clearing up this little thick area right now. And they've done a very good job of eating the grass and eating roots, and just doing a good job of clearing out. And then they will soon be moved to a new area. Today I'm also working on pig fence or pig wire that's out in the woods. It is not getting the charge that it needs to get, and we had an adventure last night. Our boar actually got out, and 2 days before he's going to his new farm as well. So that was a crazy adventure. So today we're going to be working on the wire fencing. We're just walking the whole perimeter and getting any tree branches off. They will root up like all the way up to the wire, so we're getting dirt off of the wire and just making sure that it has a really good strong charge, because with pig hot wire you want it tight and you want it really hot. So this is the type of fence that I made for our pigs. I run 3 lines of electric, and I'm sure many people say, well, that's a little excessive, but I have sows in here right now, but sometimes it's smaller feeder pigs, and you know, they got out one time, and so I added a line to it. I started out with 2, and now I got 3. But you see, they'll root all the way up to this line, and I make sure I have some rubber shoes on. I just kick it off. It is hot right now, but I've been shocked so many times. You never get used to it, I don't think. It will happen. So I like to just go around, and it's been a while since I've done this. So I need to go around and just, you know, wherever they have rooted up onto the line and they've buried one of the wires, I like to come around and kick that off. Now I do have these on separate lines, so these bottom 2 are actually connected, but then that top one is separate. So if I actually want to switch it to where the bottom line is separate, so if that bottom line gets buried, it might not have a very good charge, but if the other 2 are separate, they will still have a good charge and still be effective. So you gotta think about that, because they will bury the line. You also gotta look for, you know, tree branches that have fallen on your fence. That's probably the worst case scenario. Because this one, the top line's still up there, but it can, you know, the whole fence could be down and they could just step right out. So it's something you gotta look for as well. If you rotate them, you know, quickly enough, this won't be, you know, that much of an issue. But it's winter. These are my sows, and they've been in here for, I say 2 months. Maybe, and so they've done a little bit of damage, and that's why, you know, we've got to come around and do some fence maintenance. My feeder pigs, you know, they move quicker around. They don't stay in a paddock for such a long period of time, so it's not going to be as much as an issue. But you'll see, like, she's, you know, moving these sticks around and stuff, and she might, you know, move it onto the fence, and you got to watch for that. Something you also need to watch if you use metal posts. You got to make sure, especially on your corners, and I'll show you a corner, you got to make sure that this wire does not touch that metal rod or it'll ground out. And here's our boar. Yeah, that got out last night. So this is a new little spot where I wanted him to be able to come up here. We plan on backing up a trailer right to this point, and hopefully he will load up easily. We'll see. He really likes donuts, so we're gonna be having some donuts. Here's a turn where I'm talking about. You can see how the wire, I've had trouble at this corner sometimes with that wire touching the metal rod. But this guy is planning on going to his new home tomorrow. It's a nice yawn for you. So hopefully that loading process goes well, but I need to make sure his fence is really hot. Yeah, they're really sensitive on their nose, and they smell a lot with their nose, so their wet nose is what they're most likely going to touch the wire with. But if they don't hit it with their nose, their body's not really going to feel that shock as much, unless you get it really, really hot, which is, you know, you want it as hot as possible. So, you know, get the best energizer you possibly can to make sure your fence is as hot as possible. Okay, so I just found an issue that I forgot about. So when we were moving him before, I had taken a piece of wire off, and I was going to try to block him in, but he would not cross where that wire used to be. So I actually just left this wire hanging here, and I think that's a big grounding out issue. I don't know if you can hear it, but you might hear a little clicking noise. So that's what I listen to when I'm checking my fence. If I hear a clicking, which is the electricity going through that wire because it pulses, it's not a constant shock, that means it's grounding out somewhere. So when I'm walking a fence line and I hear a clicking noise, that's what I'm going to go to. And that's what I hear right here. And so this is something that I neglected to tie back, and that's causing an issue. So you can just see, I just want to make sure, you know, I can see all three lines and that they're clear. This is how it should look. You know, all three lines you can clearly see, nothing laying on them. This guy has, our boar has a pretty big area, probably about an acre, all to himself right now. And then we have paddock for our sows, and I'm getting ready for this new feeder pig. So they have pretty large areas that we rotate them through, and this big area that our boar is in will be subdivided for the feeder pigs. So right now, you know, he's just enjoying life in a big wooded area. You can't even see the other side of it from here, but this is all his right now that he gets to enjoy. But soon he'll be going off to a new farm, and then this will get reseeded. I'll be putting some cereal rye in here, and so I can use the trees for my fence posts as well. But here's an issue. So this is what it's talking about, with a stick on the fence. So you really want to watch out for that. But yeah, this will be subdivided, and our feeder pigs will run through here, and they get a smaller area, and we'll be reseeding with clover and cereal rye. So you can see here how he's really dug up this area versus no pigs over here. Here's another issue. I ran out of insulators, these yellow things, and so I wrapped it with electrical wire. Well, it worked for a while. So it started rubbing. See over here, it's just barely touching that metal rod, but I can hear it clicking. So that's how I need to check over here, because I can hear that click. So for now, I'm just gonna raise it. See, no clicking now. But I do need to get another insulator and put on there, because that is not how it's supposed to be. That's not secure. So don't do that. So if you have large areas, it's handy to have another person at your Energizer that can turn it off for you real quick. And then you can call them and they can turn it back on so you can listen for clicks. Here's a corner where the wire's touching the pole. So my husband's up at the Energizer. He's gonna call me when it's off. I'm gonna fix it real quick and then you can turn it back on. All right, so he turned it off. I was able to turn that thing around. So these right here need to be tightened every so often too. So you need to check your insulators and make sure that they stay tight. And then if you find slack in your wire, you can wrap it around a time or two to help tighten it, because you want that wire nice and tight. All right, so those things that we changed worked. I don't know if you can, no, can't see it on the camera. Oh, there you go, there was one. All right, so you see how high that is going now? So that one's separate than this one, so let's make sure this one's going good too. So now it's up to 6,000 volts. And before I did all that that I showed you, it was only getting up to 2,000 volts. So what we did worked. 6 is what I like to get up to. That's what I like to see. So it's really hot now. I hope you enjoyed that little trip around my fence perimeter. So here's your reminder to go check your fence. Go walk your fence lines and go check and make sure that your fence is hot, because I told myself, I think it was 2, maybe 3 days, I was like, Tara, you need to check the fence line. Go check the fence. And I didn't. And the boar got out last night. So don't make my mistake. Go check your fence line. All right. Thank you. Appreciate you guys hanging out.